Joining us now to comment on all of this is our more famous anti-globalist, Frank Gaffney, Executive Chairman of the Center for Security Policy. Frank, I know that you're not tracking this story as deeply as some of the other stories, but I wanted your take on the overall state of affairs, the fact that the United Arab Emirates is now taking the side of free speech over France.
Well, France has fallen considerably, I think, over recent years from, being one of the exemplars of sort of Western democracy and human rights and other freedoms to a state that is engaged in suppressing those freedoms and otherwise sort of promoting, ironically, a sort of tolerance for Sharia supremacism that you would associate more, as you say, with the United Arab Emirates. In the case of this, I have the feeling that there's, the old line about the puzzle wrapped in an enigma or something. There's a Matryoshka doll, maybe, is a better way of describing it. We're going to see this sort of pulled apart. I'm sure that there's money involved, for one thing. This Telegram billionaire, who's a revered citizen of the UAE, I have to believe has got something to do with the fact that he's a billionaire. And he's also, to give him his due, promoting a platform that is widely used by people that I suspect the UAE is not all that keen on, those who are opposing totalitarianism. But at the end of the day, this is probably also a function of a lot of other nations' interests who have not shown their hand just yet. There are reports that, the United States government was interested in the arrest of Pavel. A lot of people want inside his system. I think that's fair. And Pavel had an interview with Tucker Carlson, as you know, in which he laid out in some detail the efforts that the FBI and CIA and others have been going to try to make sure that they could get access to Telegram's encryption codes. And so whether that's what will come out of all of this or not remains to be seen. But I think it's going to be a fascinating story to unpack over time as those dolls keep coming apart.
No, certainly. And before we move on from it, I wanted to ask you, what are your theories? I mean, I know you've been in the national security space for a very long time, and yes, as you've alluded, there are some other things that are no doubt happening in this story. There's intelligence interests, there's money interests. But why do you think the United States so far has been silent on this issue? They've usually made some comment on just about everything that happens in the world, silent on this issue.
Yeah, look, I have long since given up trying to figure out what's going on inside this administration, who's even running this administration, for that matter. As you know, that's talk about black boxes. It could well be that they're keeping their counsel because they just as soon have other people take the heat for something that they may have had a hand in. I don't know. But what I think is pretty clear is there is an intelligence interest on the part of this government to both be able to use Telegram to help foster color revolutions around the world, I think, as well as perhaps to be able to monitor traffic that is of interest to them as well.
For all our viewers asking where One America News is heading in the future, we would like to introduce you to OAN Live. OAN Live is the best way to stay up to date on all of the hard-hitting, straight-shooting, national and international headlines. And the best part is, OAN Live is only $4.99 per month. All the credible, honest, unbiased reporting One America News offers at a fraction of the cost of cable. Just go to OANN.com to easily sign up for OAN Live and stay informed.